Chicago in 1920s, a time of unending parties, unlimited booze and unrelenting violence. Similar harsh times Russia faced in 1990s. After Soviet Union collapse, Russian mafia took over up to 40% of the country's economy. And this was the number one car for Russian mob to drive. My name is Georgiy, and today for the test drive we have a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagen. This is what you get for $122,000. This wheel, it always shakes, it always hangs loose, it dangles on every bump on the road. This is why very often you see G-Wagen without this wheel. This rear door, the rear door is crazy, it's huge, it's completely inconvenient. Hear the sound. It reminds me of old refrigerator. If you see a G-Wagen on the streets, take a closer look at these heels. They always fall apart. And even on this car, the paint peeled off. On a normal car, the windshield stands like this. So when the fly bumps into the windshield, it pushes off and flies away. On a G-Wagen, the windshield located like this. So when the flies and mosquitoes bump into the windshield, they get crushed on your windshield. And you ride with all these dead bodies until the end of your trip. All the front parts, the bumper, the grille, the hood, will get damaged from the chips and sandblast. You will always have to paint it. These parts will become white after a few thousand miles. All these parts will get damaged and matte. Even on our car, this part is matte already. Even though it seems like this car is easy to paint, it's not true. This car is the hardest car to vinyl wrap. This car is the hardest car to paint. And this car is the hardest car to wash. The reason why, if you take a power wash and point it into the wall, the water will push off the wall right on you. This is why it takes forever to wash your car. Here's the engine, which is cool, which is powerful, but in my understanding, it's not reliable. Now, question to Mercedes-Benz. Couldn't you install another stick like this, but on this side? Look, it's bended now. You see how it's bended? The car costs $122,000.
Hold up, hey, for my niggas who be thinking we soft, we don't.
In this car, it's impossible to seduce a woman. This car ingests fear and awe in any female, at least in Russia.
Hope you're ready for the next if the wheels fall off. Hold up, hey, for my niggas who be acting too bold. For the next episode, the wheels fall off. Hold up, hey, for my niggas who be acting too bold, take a.
We're driving 80 kilometers an hour, and it feels like 200 kilometers an hour. The brakes are horrible, guys. It's like I'm riding a metro train. Let's see the doors! Nice! You always have to struggle when you're driving this car. Even when you're driving it on the straight road. I'm literally struggling with it. Hey guys, have you seen how Russian guys film the movies? This is how. Look, this is a cheap-ass Russian movie. What, they're shooting or what? Cheap version of Russian movie. Let's take this car on a small off-road. of the brakes on this car is horrible. We press the brake buttons like really hard, maybe 3 or 4 times. You can imagine how much load this car has, and we weren't driving that much. Guys, about the interior, it's very inconvenient in this car. The only thing you have for your things to put is this. Oh, that's for the cigarettes, and that's it. You don't have no more space to put your phone and your wallet. By the way, compare, this is my iPhone 7 and this is the screen. I mean, this screen is way too small for this car. This car loses its value up to 50% in just 2 years. This car is super inconvenient for the city. This car consumes a ton of gas. So overall, do not buy this car for yourself, for your only car, for your day-to-day car. If you have extra money and you need a second car just for fun, then this car is a perfect choice. And after all these minuses, this car is still popular among Mercedes-Benz fans. They hasn't been changing the design of this car for more than 20 or 30 years almost. If they change at least the headlight, or if they make a little change in this car, nobody's gonna buy this car, because fans of the G-Wagons like this car for the way it looks. The only cool thing about this car that I found is that in case you get stuck in traffic, you can do a dick move in Russia and drive on the pedestrian walk, and all the people are so scared of this car that no one's gonna say a word to you. Guys, another thing that I want to say about the rear seats. I honestly don't understand the guys who sit behind and they're measuring the room between their legs and the front seat, saying, oh yeah, there are plenty of rooms. The guys who are buying this car, they're interested only in one thing. If there is enough room for the girl. Let's imagine that this bag is a girl. So you put your girl like this in a doggy style position and you go. There are a lot of great car reviewers who have done awesome reviews on this car. Plus, watching them, you won't have to struggle listening to my bad accent. But in my car review, I like to concentrate on the things that is impossible to identify until you've driven this car for a few months. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this car. But this car costs $122,000. So this car deserves to be criticized.
Turn it